Thank you very much for attending this TEDx talk, which I've been kindly invited to do. Yes, you've heard my different roles in the past few years, but what am I actually? I class myself as a thinker without boundaries. And today I challenge you to come out of your comfort zone and think about community as an international theory, as a concept that everyone is connected in some way in the international community and networks that we live in. One thing that I want to take you through today is the journey of my thoughts. Thoughts across what have taken me to different parts of this world, taken me to China, taken me to different countries in Africa, and also in the more of the Western world in the US and across the UK. I have seen that there is a massive problem within international development right now, and people share my thoughts. What is that problem? What is one problem of many, I have to say, but what is a big problem? And that is sustainable development across this world. What is sustainable development? Sustainable development is to create development for future, what we do now, for futures to come, for generations to come. And this is a passion that a lot of people in this world share. I see at the moment, personally, through my journey, through my research, and through just talking to people, that we have a problem with the big international organizations that are saying that they're there for the international development community. They're there doing the work that we want to see across this world to create communities and help communities rise. But I don't think that is the case. I think there is a different level of people that we don't hear about at all. There's no adverts for people like this on our TVs, on the internet as much as, and they don't have the money to spend on the big campaigns. So my personal journey has taken me through this train of thought of how to solve this problem. And one thing I looked at when I was at university was seeing if there was a sustainable solution. And I think there are so many solutions, but there's one I want to share with you today. But my thoughts have taken me to different countries, and one of my thoughts has taken me to Kenya to work as a consultant, free of charge, all off of my own money, for Slum Code International. Okay, Slum Code International, you might say, oh, it's another international community, it's another international organization. No, this has been set up by one man, Albert Nashton. Albert Nashton grew up in Huruma slum, which is Nairobi, one of Nairobi's biggest slums. It's the second biggest after Kibera, but not publicized as much. There's roughly, they say, estimated over 800,000 people, but he claims there's actually more. But no one will ever know seriously because there's no censorship, no censors, nothing in that community. But through his own belief, he feels that he can create something that for the people on his doorstep can actually come in and be helped with. Why international? I asked him the same question, why international? Because he says, this is really just the beginning of my idea. I want this to become an international idea. And I agree. I think he can have an international idea on the way that we work with our communities. So what I was doing over there, really, is helping him build a 5-year plan and take him up to the next level. I started working with him in 2010. Let's go through a couple of slides. He started off in an office in 2010. This office here on the middle top picture. It is no bigger than from here to here. And what he wanted to do was actually bring people into the community, into his office, to try and help them out. That's not going to be a big enough space. So we started to look at what is the big plan? What does he want and how do we get him there? So he goes, I want a community center in Huruma for people to come and have a library, have education, different facilities, have a computer lab, everything. Okay, this is not a small idea. Let's have a look at this in 5-year plans. So when do you want to create a center? He goes, at least 3 years. I said, fantastic, let's build this in. And I was showing him the different ways that we use in the UK for efficiency development and looking at business plans and looking at targets and how we achieve those targets. In January this year, so that's less than 2 years, I was over here in August 2010. He has a whole slum code centre now. How did he get from there to there? Basically, what we were talking about is how we can bring in international people to help him, because people on his own doorstep don't always have the resources or even the visions that we have as an international community. So this was made possible through people from the UK, including myself, in the US, all over 3 different states, to people in Germany, and even people in China and Japan. That's how big of a community have actually helped produce this. And that has triggered off me even more thoughts that if an international community can surround one man, what can we do together to surround the different communities in the world? Because I believe this is the start of true international development. It's the different communities, each pulling in to what we see today is a big development push. Yes, this is one project out of many, and it has worked. But I feel this could work for others as well. So look at this library now. Like, he's gone from that to this whole library, to a computer lab, to a classroom as well within the centre. And also you're probably thinking, oh, this is probably quite expensive to run. For a month, this costs £320. Think of how much income that is for one person of us. It's more than most people my age are renting for. It's less than what people are renting for in this country. And that is actually mobilizing a community that is probably 4,000 to 5,000 big that is actually coming in and out at the moment. So this is what an international community can come together to do. And this is just another project of his he sees, is in a school. And basically, this was first painted and helped set up by the Nokia Foundation. And that's in Sweden. And they just came over with a group of 4 people to put some money into this and help him set up this the school, basically, around a couple of the community volunteers. All of these children are orphans, all majority from HIV, and don't have anywhere to go to school. So they've created a school and brought the school to them, which is a fantastic idea. And again, the international community has helped through Nokia, help setting it up in the stage. This is a lady from Singapore who was just a tourist, and Albert met her in a cafe and brought her in and said, let's have a look. And since then, she's keeps talking to Albert and keeps feeding ideas to him. So it's a way of just having this community that what they can set up. So where am I coming with this? Well, what is Future Roots? Future Roots is a model to help facilitate international, or help community projects become into an international network. So first of all, how do we do this? We've got to start creating small networks within places like Nairobi, within places like Cape Town, Johannesburg, in different areas of the world. And once we've got satellite networks, we can then bring them into an international community. What I would love to see Future Roots as is an idea that can be recycled across this world, but not by me. It's like this bottle of water. I could give this to anyone to reuse. And TEDx is the same. It's a network of people. None of the people today work for TEDx. They've just got a license to do it. This is what Future Roots is going to be. It is going to be a way of getting someone who's ever passionate, maybe passionate about Chad, about Brazil today, and who would like to set up a network. I can then come in and help facilitate them, their ideas, and see what we can do and try and network with them. But also on a higher level, really, is starting to get the international finance communities, the international people that like to donate to big charities, and see how we can facilitate a funding network to people like Albert. And how can we make that sustainable for him? And another way we're looking at what I worked with Albert in as well is actually connecting to banks in his own country, to finances in his own country. And from that, he has managed to create some more sustainable ideas for the future, like the Slum Code Centre, because now not one penny of that is going to be coming from the international community. He wants the international community to help him with ideas, but he wants his own people to invest in it. So he's gone to a university and done something like this, free of charge. They've given it to him free of charge, but he's charging each each company £350, 50,000 Kenyan shillings. And each company that will come, that money will then be a month's rent for him. How amazing is that? And this has all come through just a load of people from around the world with a common idea to help him out. So can those same people help others out, help other networks out? Yes. But what is the problem? Again, the big problem is the fact that we don't know where these people are. This is what I'm bringing you today. There's about 10 other charities, local community charities like him, who can be like this, who actually could grow as fast as this. But we need to find them. And the way is creating these networks, getting people to create networks within their own countries, and then putting it back to us. So this is an idea that is so flexible at the moment. This is the first time Future Roots has ever been talked about in a community like this. These have been my thoughts for years. So what I'm challenging you to do today, and I challenge myself as well, is to start thinking about how this could work. And I would love anyone here to come and talk to me today and just give me, say, even some criticism. Because not one person I spoke to has given me any criticism because they're scared. But no, today is not for that. It's about challenging our thoughts and thinking about a community as an international community. So let's start thinking on how we can share our own resources to people like Albert to create a better world, a better sustainable world for his children, for those children, for their children, for our children. So let's stand up and say, yeah, this is going to be a good solution. So that's Dominik Byrne from Future Roots. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dominic. Just one question. I thought you raised this issue of Africa helping itself and international organisations perhaps doing too much with their investment. I mean, do you see that this culture is changing, that the international people will step back?
Well, I don't think it will change, and I don't want it to change too much. What I would like for the big international organisations to wake up and say, actually, there's people who can facilitate and actually do the projects for them, but they just need the resources. Let's give them the way of the resources to do it, to help their own communities. The reason is, sorry, I'm just taking a little bit longer, but it is because me, you, anyone, do we know what Albert's thinking? Do we know what the people Albert lives with wants? No, we don't. And why should we then tell them what to think? Why don't we find a way of facilitating their thoughts, their ideas, because they live there, they know what they want, they know what they need, and actually help bring that to them and give them the resources to do that. So that's what I think is going to be important.